Refugees are welcome here! Refugees are welcome here! Refugees are welcome here! I guess I feel frustration that this is the main vehicle and mode to which to express my dissent to the kind of views that UKIP and others espouse. I don't really know how else to do that in this time, but yelling across two barriers is not particularly helpful. It helps with the polarisation. I would love to...
It makes you feel better. It's like an outlet.
I think it's just more the fact that we've got a limited amount of levers to pull in order to express dissent, and whenever we've got sort of like mass protests on the street in order to counter it, that's the main vehicle. But I understand that whenever you've got the mass inequality that we have in this country, the mass separation and widening of barriers for people, that these kind of narratives, these anti-immigrant, these anti-foreigner, these anti-trans, anti-people narratives are really seductive, and it's easy to blame a kind of overall narrative. Whenever we kind of get down to it, if we were to talk to people who are less at the extreme of this, I think we would have a lot to agree on, which is that yes, corporations, massive corporations are not good for people. That we would like to have more power back to the people. We would like to have more decision making and governance over our own lives. We probably have a lot to agree on that, but I'm not willing to say that we're going to throw certain people under the bus to do that. Whenever we're talking about the lifeboat theory, the idea that you can't take people in, otherwise your lifeboat will sink, I'm not wanting to talk about that. I'm wanting to talk about building a lifeboat.
You mentioned we were talking about yelling. It's polarizing. Like people are yelling, getting something off your chest, but you think it's not really helpful on both sides.
Yeah, as I said before, this feels like the only vehicle that we have to express our dissent about this kind of polarization. I wish it weren't the case, but whenever I'm yelling, I'm expressing my personal beliefs and the validity of everyone. I'm yelling, refugees are welcome here. I welcome refugees. I think they've had a really hard time. I want to be able to integrate them into our societies, and that includes if they feel like they need to return home, but I'm not going to impose that on them. So whenever I yell, refugees are welcome here, that's my personal belief. And instead of going, you guys are idiots, I don't believe in what you're saying or anything like that, it's just simply expressing my belief, because I think if you're otherwise yelling things, which I have heard, which is like that pedophiles are sexually assaulting our children, that's what has been said here. I want to directly refute that.
Do you believe that?
No.
But do you think it's healthy, like you mentioned, like just everyone yelling at each other? Would you rather have a conversation? Would you rather everyone just sat down and had a conversation?
I
Maybe they're doing exactly the same thing. Maybe they're yelling their frustrations.
I think it depends. I think you need to start from fundamental principles of human equality, that humans have fundamental rights, and we aren't going to generalize about whole groups of people. If people are not willing to contend that, then I would not want to sit at the table and discuss it. I think we need fundamental agreement on that.
Absolutely. You mentioned the corporations. Do you think these giant corporations, international, may have a hand at all of this? Maybe they profit off what's happening here right now, having two sides yelling at each other instead of having a conversation. Do you think that's a possibility?
Yes.
Because they are evil in a way. They don't care about human life. They care about profit.
I suppose when I'm saying this, I express my personal opinion. I do think that yes, corporations have a hand in this, in my personal opinion. If we take a direct look at the influence that Elon Musk has recently expressed over German and British politics, then that has a direct hand in the corporate beliefs of a lot of his policy that he's enacting in the States, and then also a lot of corporate belief that I think a lot of the institutions and a lot of the corporate-owned organisations in the States have, and they do have an interest in expanding that neoliberal viewpoint and perhaps even an expansionist viewpoint. And it makes it easier when people are fighting over specific issues, but it all fundamentally comes from the same point, is that we're looking at the massive consolidation and transfer of wealth from people, especially from the lower and middle classes, into the control of corporations and private equity. That is the fundamental reason why I think we're struggling in this day and age. I would love to be able to extend that out to people that believe that it's because of individuals and that we can all fight together in that. But fundamentally, we need to agree that people have value, that seeking refuge, seeking safety is not a crime. I think we need to fundamentally believe that.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.